So when I go around the country and I talk about my favorite school districts, Orangefield is one of those. And people always ask me, like, what is the secret? And the secret is there's great people doing great stuff. And, you know, a lot of districts, they try to just do great stuff, but without the great people, it doesn't work out.
Well, there's a lot of great people at Orangefield.
That's what I'm saying. So what I want to do is spend some time just having like a quick conversation with some of those folks, and that's why you're here today.
Oh, wonderful.
I know. All right, so what I have realized is so many teachers have come to teaching in that traditional route where they were awesome in elementary school, they had a blast in junior high, high school was amazing, they thought, I'm going to become a teacher. They go away for 4 years, they come out at 21, 22 years old, and they're teaching school. But it was a little different path for you.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about that. So when you were in school, think back to elementary school, and like elementary, junior high, what was school like for you back then?
I mean, I did well. I was quiet.
Yeah.
You know, I had low self-esteem. I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't think I could do things so I didn't get involved as much.
Right.
But
And then at that particular time, was there a teacher that you can recall that really made an impact in your life? Who comes to mind first?
Miss Watson.
Miss Watson.
I remember Miss
Where was this, by the way?
This was at Little Cypress.
Uh-huh.
I did go to Little Cypress.
Okay, and Miss Watson was awesome.
She was awesome.
What grade was that?
That was, I think it was around 7th grade.
So seventh grade.
grade.
Let me ask you this, thinking back, what made her different than the rest of the teachers?
She noticed things that you didn't think she noticed.
Yeah, like what?
Well, there was, in that particular class, she taught math. There was a girl that was being kind of mean to me. And I was real quiet, and I just kind of let things go, and she noticed. And everybody's leaving out of the room while she calls that little girl back, and she has a talk with her. You never knew, you know, that she noticed.
Yeah.
You know, and she cared enough to at least speak with her, you know, and let her know that she noticed what she did. And in 7th grade, junior high, that's important.
That's a hard year, man.
Because it's hard in junior high.
And here's what's interesting, you know, as a teacher now, you know that this is like a daily thing.
It is
that
a daily
teachers
thing.
do. And oftentimes as teachers, we don't even think it's just kind of what we do. We don't really catalog that in our memory. But for the kid, they remember that moment for the rest of their lives. And here they are talking about
That's
it
right.
decades
I'll never
later.
forget that.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And then in high school, were you still successful academically?
Academically, I did okay.
And then how about in terms of your self-esteem and all that? Was it still...
Academically, I'm okay, but as far as, you know, socializing, you know, getting involved, thinking, oh, I can't be a cheerleader, or I can't be in the drill team, or I couldn't. And I finally did join the drill team, and I did okay.
Yeah.
I did okay.
Very cool. And then, so at what point, was there any point during school that you thought, you know what, man, I'm going to be a teacher someday?
I always played teacher.
Really?
Oh, yeah. As a kid, I always, you know, I had I'm 15 years older than my little brother, and I had him doing math problems at 4 years old.
There you go. Doing it. And then, so what happened after high school? Did you go to college or community college, or stay home, or start working, service?
I started working, and then I got married, and I moved off, and because he was in the military, and then I had my first child, and then I came back home, and I was a mom, you know, a mom for a while. I did go back to college when she was young, and for accounting, you know, those kinds of things.
Dick.
Yeah. And didn't really do much with it, you know, and I got married again and had 2 more children. So I was doing the mom thing, which that was important to me too, you know, being a mother. And when my youngest one was 3.5 years old, I decided to go to work. I said, I'm gonna make a little money on the side, but I wanted to do something that I could still be a mom. And so the school was a big, you know, that was it.
So you started working in the school district here in this district, or so here in Orangefield you started. And what was your first position?
It was a teacher's aide.
Teacher's aide in elementary school.
Yeah, always at the elementary, and I was in early childhood life skills when I first came to work here, and I learned so much. you know, and I did so many different things. My position changed from year to year. I probably did everything as an aide that an aide could do at Orangeville Elementary.
That's fascinating. And then at what point did you decide, you know what, I need to get a degree and become a teacher?
Well, I would sit in the classroom with my students, and I watched so many teachers do so many wonderful things, and I learned a lot. And I really do think that every teacher should be an aide for at least a few years, because you learn so much. And I learned so much from many different teachers. So I would just absorb all these different techniques and different ways they taught their class, and I thought, you know, I think I'd like to do that. And I really wanted to be that teacher where they let those special needs kids come in, because I loved them, and they needed to be with the regular classroom, and they needed to be able to be accepted, you know, and they could learn, you know, they can learn too. And I wanted to be that teacher that those kids would come into my classroom and they would feel comfortable.
Yeah.
They would feel a part of everything, and then they can learn.
You love them.
I love them. I love them.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating that you talk about the how every teacher really should be an aide for, because unfortunately that traditional education of each you includes really what amounts to just a few weeks of student teaching. I know they call it a semester, but the time where they're actually focused on learning what to do and how to do it and be a teacher, it's very limited time. But when you could spend years observing and watching. So how many years were you an aide before you became a certified teacher?
I think I was an aide at least over 10 years, at least 10 or 12 years. Wow. And I kept, you know, and it was so funny because the principal at the time kept putting these memos in my box about aides could go back to school to be a teacher. And I would take it and go, I can't do that, crumble it up and throw it away. Next year, shoved it in my box again, you know, and a teacher's aide can go to college for free tuition, and I can't do that. I think that went on for about 4 or 5 years, and finally I said, I'm going to do that, you know. And I said, well, I'll just dip my little toes in there, you know, and I took one class. But I work, you know, you have to work, you know, so I'm working, I'm a mom. My kids are very active, you know, in school. They're in sports and everything. And so I took one class, and I was successful. You know, and I would pray about it. You know, I told God, I said, if this is what you want me to do, I want to do it well. Yeah. I don't want to just do it. I want to do it well. And I did. I went to college, and I made A's. Yeah. And I took a couple of classes, and then took a few more classes, you know, and I just, and then finally, my last year, I was working full-time and going to school full-time, and being a mom.
Right, mom full-time.
Yeah, mom full-time.
Yeah.
And when I graduated, I had straight A's, and I got the Plumber's Award, and because I knew that that's what God wanted me to do. That's where I needed to be.
And so here you are.
So here I am.
How many years has it been that you've been a certified teacher?
Since 2008, so about 10 years.
Yeah. Still loving it.
Still love it.
So how many years total is it? So it's like 20 years total?
About 20, yeah, about 20, going on 21 years, yeah.
So I'm curious, from where you are now, and for a first-year teacher coming in, and here she comes, she's 22, 23, right out of college, doesn't have her own kids, and they did the student teaching thing. What advice would you give a brand new teacher?
Oh gosh, I would just tell her to be patient and to love her children and to get to know her children, because you need to love them and you need to know them, have that relationship with them. Yeah. You know, the teaching will come. That will come. Yeah. That's an automatic thing. That'll come.
So for you, really, I guess what you've discovered all those years of watching that foundation for great instruction really is loving those kids relentlessly and being patient, because it'll happen. Well, having that relationship in place.
Yes, if those kids know that you love them, they will hang the moon for you.
Yeah.
They will do whatever you want them to do. Now, they're going to have their days.
They're kids. They're supposed to.
They're kids.
That's why we have jobs.
Yes. But I haven't had any children that I can say, oh, they're a terrible child. They're kids. Yeah. You just have to work around that, you know, and make it fun for them and try to get them engaged, you know, and they'll get there. Yeah. They'll get there.
Do you know what I love? I love that there are people like you that have accepted the honor and privilege of standing before our kids.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out and talking.
Well, it's great. I love it.
How fun was that?
That
You're
fun?
amazing. I'll give you
Well,
some love.
thank you.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. I'm so glad. I hope it inspires somebody.